The main reason why I was able to stay consistent with my training for 6 years is because I treated it like a video game. I was constantly improving, constantly making progress, just having fun and having motivation all the time. It was never difficult for me to train, it never required discipline. I enjoyed it. It even made me question the point of playing regular video games. Like, I started cringing at the thought that I used to grind for like 10 fucking hours just to get a virtual item in Terraria. I can pretty confidently say right now that I lost my passion to video games. They literally stopped exciting me anymore. Why would I spend 10 hours building something in a video game if I could spend 10 hours building something in real life? And it will be harder, of course, but it will also give me a far better reward, far more fulfilling and satisfying reward. In this video I want to give you a complete recipe on how you can start treating your training like a video game. This will guarantee infinite motivation and it will greatly decrease the amount of willpower and discipline that you need to complete your workout. It will make training so fucking fun that you will actually look forward to every single training session. And it will also help you make steady and consistent progress, so that long term you will become an absolute beast. In Poland we have a saying, drink milk and you'll be huge. If you're new here, my name is Karol and I have a goal of becoming as strong, as powerful, as agile and as athletic as physically possible, so someday I can become a level 99 mafia boss. Okay, so first we need to ask a question. Why are video games even fun? What makes them fun? And the first and the most important thing is a clear roadmap. You know exactly what your objective is, you know exactly what you have to do step by step to get to that objective, and you know exactly what will be your reward after you reach that objective. And if you don't know exactly, you at least know that there will be some reward. So it's basically about going from point A to point B while knowing exactly how to do it, how to bridge that gap, and also expecting a reward after reaching the point B. And that's it, that's the secret. So how can we utilize that concept in training? The first thing is to set clear and tangible goals. For this example, we're gonna say 100 kg bench press. The second thing is to ask yourself, why do you even want to achieve that goal? What are your motivation? What do you want to achieve through achieving that goal? I want you to write down on a piece of paper at least 10 good reasons why you want to achieve a goal. For example, for the bench press, it will make my chest bigger, it will make me more attractive, it will increase my status, it will make me more respectable in the eyes of my peers. Things like that, you know? If you dive deep enough, every reason comes down to a status, but I want you to keep many different versatile reasons, you know? Then you should stick that paper somewhere on the wall, somewhere on your monitor maybe, so that you will just basically see it every day. It will just remind you every day what is your goal and what is the reward from that goal. It will basically work like a quest in a video game. So now let's figure out a clear way to go from point A to point B, to reach that goal. And you're going to do it through choosing a progression scheme. One progression scheme and then sticking to it. If your goal is just strength, but obviously some muscle would be nice, but you don't really care about that the most, then the repetition range and the progression scheme I would recommend to you would be 3 to 5 reps and 4 sets. I will explain exactly how to use that in a minute. But at the other hand, if your goal is really increasing your strength and muscle, you really care about muscle, but you also want to get stronger naturally, then I would recommend you to use 8 to 12 reps and 3 sets. For example, we will use an 8 to 12 repetition range for our bench press. So first I need to pick a weight that I can do 10 repetition with, and that's basically my max. Let's say it was like 75 kgs for me. Obviously it's not, but it is an example. On your first training session, you do 3 sets of 8 reps. Because if you did 10 reps on your first set, you will just then not be able to repeat that. You will fall outside of the range probably. Then on your next training session, you increase that amount by 1 or 2 reps if you're feeling strong. So you still pick at the same weight, 75 kgs. But this time you really try to increase the amount of reps in every 3 sets. So for example, you felt really good, you managed to do 10 reps, then in the second set also 10 reps, and then in the third set you did not achieve 10 reps but you did 9 reps. That's fine too. Basically your job is throughout the next training sessions to really get to that end range of that repetition range. So in this case your goal is really to get to these 12 reps for 3 sets. So let's say 2 workouts later, you finally do 3 sets of 12 reps with a 75 kg. And what you do then, on the next training session, you pick a weight that's like 5 kg higher, so 80 kg, and you see how much you can do with that. Ideally, you also want to stay in that repetition range, 8 to 12. So for example, if you manage to do 9 reps, then in the second set also 9, and in the third set 8, that's great. You just keep progressing from them to also reach 12 for the 3 sets, and just repeat the cycle. But for example, if that weight was too heavy for you and you managed to only reach 7 repetitions, then you can either just progress from these 6-7 repetitions until you get to that repetition range, and then also progress to the end of that repetition range before you change the weight to again a higher one, or you can just lower down the weight and start increasing it only by like 2.5 kg. So instead of 80 kg, because it was too difficult, you take like 77.5 kg and you progress that repetition range until you also do 3 sets of 12 and you also go to 80 kg. Both methods will work amazingly. It's not a big philosophy. It's basically called a double progression, because first you progress in reps and then you progress in weight. And it is an amazing way of progressing for beginners and intermediates, so you can actually stick to that one progression scheme for longer periods of time and you shouldn't really see plateaus. And that's literally the whole plan. Now you have an objective, you have a reward, what you will get after achieving that objective, and you also have a progression scheme, a clear and tangible way how you can make progress and get to that goal. I guarantee you that following just these 3 steps will make your training infinitely more enjoyable, and you will have infinitely more motivation and actually fun doing your workouts. You know what the one factor is that always most motivates people? It's seeing progress, literally. And with that progression scheme, you should see progress on every single training session. And every time you see progress, it's another like burst of fuel, of motivation. And that is why it is so fucking cool to follow that protocol and treat training like a video game. Obviously, in order to see progress on every single training session, you also gotta recover properly. So take like 48 to 72 hours of rest between training the same muscles, and also just focus on eating clean, eating a lot of good food, and also just have at the back of your head that you really need to consume more protein than regular people. And that's literally the 20% of actions that will give you 80% of results when it comes to recovering properly. The 80-20 rule, the Pareto rule. But wait, that's not all. You might have realized that still video games are a lot easier to play than going and doing a training session. And that's because it's just easier. It's easier to move your fingers on a keyboard than it is going to the gym or going to a calisthenics park and actually straining, sweating. So this is actually where training will never be able to compete with gaming. And this is also one of the main reasons why most people just can't get themselves to train. It's just too hard for most people. But what can we do about that? There is a very nice solution. Basically, if you are a masculine man, you have a high testosterone, effort feels good. Just like that. But you become a masculine man by training regularly. Okay, so it's like a closed loop. But you can also make effort feel good. For example, by taking a pre-workout, by watching some hype motivational videos on YouTube, or by listening to a hype music. All of these things, especially combined, really make training and straining and exercising just feel good, makes the effort feel good. And this is like an absolute cheat code, because then you have a choice. You could play video games and not really put much effort into it, so you could say it's comfortable, but you could also go and train and actually put effort into it, but that effort gives you pleasure. It's fun, it's enjoyable. And if the effort is not bad and the reward from training is much greater than the reward from gaming, then I think there is no need to think about that decision. It's clear, training is just better. I 100% guarantee you that if you will utilize these tips, you will just get addicted to training. It will become like a new video game for you. And after some time, your body will start demanding it by itself. When I, for example, was on vacation, I didn't train for like, I think 1.5 weeks. Bro, my muscles were like fucking itching from the inside. They were demanding that I do some workout, do some push-ups even. And you can't skip trainings if your body literally demands it. So you just gotta start. And one more tip I have for you, if you really don't feel like going out and training today, is to remember that a human mind absorbs power from a resistance. Every time you do something hard, you absorb its power. And the bigger the resistance, the bigger the power. Think about it. And if you're also a fan of anime, especially the warrior shit anime, then I have also made a video about it, how you can make your training look like the one of anime characters. You can watch that video right here. And I really recommend it. It also, I think it could change lives, but that's just my opinion, eh? And yeah, that's it for this video. Peace out.